Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I have a book haul for you, and then I also have a few updates to the reading study room. As you can see, I did get another shelf for the room as well, and then I did get like a longer one, one of the 31-inch ones that's like half the height, so that I could put my TV on it, and that is behind me, and I'll show you that later. But yeah, so I'm gonna go through, and I have a few books here that I picked up because I went and did a Barnes trip after I went to IKEA to get the shelves. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you what I got from Barnes. The first one I got is Billy Summers by Stephen King. This is the last book that I'm interested in reading by him that I picked up. I probably will end up picking up more of his books to read, but for now, this is one of the ones that I really wanted to get to, so I went ahead and picked it up. And then I got Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. I've heard really good things about this one, and I know it's like sci-fi, and I do enjoy sci-fi, and I want to start building more of my sci-fi collection, so I went ahead and picked this one up. And then I picked up Ghost Eaters by Clay McLeod Chapman. This one is like a horror, I believe. It's in the horror section, so yeah, it's a horror book. And I've heard good things about this one as well, and I was very interested in reading this one and seeing what this one was gonna be like. That one. And then I picked up another Grady Hendrix book. I think at this point I have all of his books except for maybe two, but this was his most like recent release. I think he released this last year, and I waited for it to come out in paperback, and this is his Witchcraft for Wayward Girls, and I've heard very good things about this one as well, so I'm excited to read that, and I do very much enjoy his writing. And then I picked up Mary, The Awakening of Terror by Nat Cassidy. This one, I only heard like one other person talk about this one a while ago, and I thought it was really interesting and I wanted to read it, so I went ahead and picked this one up as well. This one is also a horror book, so I picked that one up. Okay, I have a stack of 10 books here that I have hauled between like Christmas and the end of January. I don't think I've gotten any books this month in February, so I think the last time I picked up a book was like end of January-ish. But I'm gonna go ahead and go through those books, and then I will probably have more books to add into here either this weekend or next weekend after I see the new Scream movie, just because I am planning on doing a couple of updates in the book room. I'm gonna get a couple new shelves to put up, and then I'll probably do a little bit of book shopping. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get into it. So the first book that I have here is My Dark Desire by L.J. Shen and Parker S. Huntington. I don't believe I hauled this in a video. I did get it for Christmas. My mom got it for me for Christmas. And this is the second book in is it the My Dark Prince series? I'm not really sure. The first book by them, it was My Dark Romeo. Oh no, My Dark Prince is the next book. My Dark Romeo was the first book in this like series. And then I really enjoyed that one, so I decided to go ahead and pick up My Dark Desire, and I believe this one is a kind of like a Cinderella retelling. I forgot what the first one was a retelling of, but this one's like a Cinderella retelling, and then My Dark Prince is supposed to be like a Sleeping Beauty Aurora retelling. But yeah, I'm excited to get into that one. The next book I have that I hauled is Revolve by Bal Cabra. I want to say the series that this is in is the Vancouver Ice series, but I could be wrong. I know it's part of the world that Collide and Spiral are set in, and this is kind of the third book in that series. It might be a trilogy, I'm not sure, but I think it's a series, and this is the third book, and this one is about Sierra, who's an Olympic figure skater, and Dylan, who was drafted to the NHL, and like their kind of romance and love story. But yeah, I'm excited to get into that one. And then I have Shut Out here by Avery Keelan. This one is a Rules of the Game. This is the second book. I haven't read the first one yet, but I do have the first one, which is Offset. But I went ahead and I picked up the second book just because I like actually found it somewhere. And I do like hockey romances, so I know I'm probably going to end up liking that book. So I just ended up picking up this one. And this one, like I said, is the second book to that series. So I'm excited to have this for when I finish that one to go into if I want. And then I have two poetry books here. I have You'll Come Back to Yourself by Michaela Angmere. This is one that I've been looking for a long time, and I finally found it and picked it up. So I'm very excited to go ahead and get this read. And it's pretty short. I think it looks like it's only about 100 pages. 135. So excited to read this. And then I have Love Poems by Rupi Kaur. I went ahead and picked this one up, even though I'm pretty sure like most of the poems in here are ones that she's already written, which I've already read, but I still like to have anything that Rupi Kaur writes, puts out, I pick it up. I love her poetry. And actually this one has like a lot of her illustrations are like in color now. So in her other poetry books, like her illustrations are kind of not, are just like black and white, but like this has like them all in color, and then it has like some little valentines in the back, which I obviously didn't use. But yeah, I'm excited to maybe go through and read that and see all the illustrations in there. And then I picked up On Writing by Stephen King. This is his memoir about writing, basically. And I've seen really good reviews about this, and I do like Stephen King, and I do like his writing and his books, so I'm very excited to get into this and see what he has to say about writing. And then this is one that we've all known that I've been waiting for to come out in paperback, Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. It finally came out in paperback, and I picked it up when I saw it at the Barnes & Noble, because this is one of those ones that I've been keeping my eye out for to come out in paperback, and it finally did. So I'm excited to read this one, although I have heard mixed reviews now about it. At first I was hearing really good things, and now I'm hearing kind of mixed reviews about it. So I'm excited to see how I feel about this one, considering it'll be my second book by her. And then another one that I was waiting for to come out in paperback is Beautiful Ugly by Alice Feeney. I read Rock, Paper, Scissors by her in January or December. I think it was December of last year, and I really enjoyed it. I really liked her writing style, and I'm excited to get into this one and see what happens. And then I went to Half Price Books, and I took some books, Half Price Books, and I got some money for them, so I picked up two books while I was there. The first one that I picked up is Into the Drowning Deep by Mira Grant. And this is one of those ones that I've seen like Heather McCleary and a couple of other booktubers and book talkers that I follow read it and really enjoy it, and I feel like I have a very similar taste to those people with dark academia and those types of things. And when I heard that this one was about like sirens and mermaids, I was like, ooh, I want to pick that up and read that. So I'm excited to read this one and see what happens in it. And then the last one I have is Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab. Again, another, I believe, vampire. I was going to say mermaid. It's not mermaid. It's vampire. It's a vampire book about vampires. It's pretty much all I know, but I've heard really, really, really good things about this one. And I think since I like dark academia and I'm getting into dark academia, I think this is going to be a good one to pick up. And I think I'm really going to enjoy this one. So yeah, those are all the books that I have picked up recently. I'm probably going to end up going tomorrow and picking up another book. I want to say it's called Diving Heart First, and I forget the author's name, but she is a local author in my city, and we just had a romance bookstore open up in one of the neighborhoods near me, and it's at that bookstore, so I'm probably going to go there tomorrow. I'll probably take a couple of clips while I'm there just because it is a newer bookstore. I didn't end up taking in any in Barnes just because it was a bit busy when I was there and I didn't want to do that. But yeah, I'll probably end up getting that one tomorrow, and then I will update you with that. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show you the two bookshelves that I got. This one is just like the standard tall Billy bookcase, but it's like the half size one, so it's only like 16 inches across, almost 16. It's like 15 and 3/4, I think. So I got that one to put on this wall here where my chair sits. And then I got it in the same color wood to match my shelves that I have on this side of the room. That way it's all cohesive and it doesn't look too different. I don't know what the word is I'm trying to look for and I can't think of it. I'm sure I will, but yeah, I just wanted everything to look kind of cohesive over here. I think that is the word I was looking for. Cohesive instead of mismatched and jumbled. And I think it looks nice. And I actually think it matches the shelves from Lowe's pretty well. So yeah. And then on the other side, I have my other 2 bookshelves, but I will turn you guys around and I will show you those. Okay, and then over on this side, I have like the original Billy bookshelf that I bought the very like first time I was arranging this room, putting things in this room, and then I went and I bought the shorter Billy bookshelf that is the same length as this one to put here next to my mirror so that I could obviously put my TV on it, and then I have all of my makeup and my towels and stuff on there and my shelves on the bottom. And then I did also buy over in this corner. So originally I did buy this Billy bookshelf to go where my TV is at currently. However, I felt it was too small for the TV. Especially for the base. The base is like kind of hanging off the edges of it. So that's why I ended up picking up the wider Billy bookcase. And then I just ended up putting this one over here and using it kind of as like my junk drawer kind of setup thing. But yeah, I just have a bunch of junk over there that I can't seem to get rid of because I either don't know how to get rid of it or I don't want to. And then I do have like in here, I have like my crocheting and my embroidery stuff. And like this is like my like stuff to hang stuff up, my like braces for my knee and my ankle. But yeah, that's about it. But yeah, those are all of the updates that I've made bookcase wise to the room. I am gonna have to go through, however, and I'm gonna go through and start putting books onto this Billy bookshelf here. I'm just not sure what I want to do. I think I'm going to take my horror and my dark academia and put them on this shelf. And the only shelf I won't be using is going to be this top one. I have like my scream masks up there because I don't really know how to hang them because there's just so much fabric on the back. And then I have like, what are they? The Myrtle books, I think that's what they're called. Yeah, Myrtle. I have my Myrtle books up there that I have and my Sudoku and a couple of like magazines that I've picked up. I just have those up on that top shelf because I can't really reach that one, so I don't really want to put anything up there. So I'm going to use these 4 shelves here, and then the very bottom shelf I have like my records on it. So I'm going to use those 4 shelves in the middle to kind of put my horror and my dark academia books on here. I might pull over my mystery thrillers as well, but I think they're going to take up too much space, so I think I'm going to leave them on my bigger Billy bookcase, and I'm going to do some rearranging of that one as well. I might also move my sci-fi over here because I don't have a lot of those books either. But yeah. realized as I was going through my shelves that I completely forgot that I also picked up Thunderhead by Neil Shusterman. I went to a Goodwill, and I found it for like $4. Yeah, it's in hardback, which kind of sucks because the first book is in paperback, but I did find it. And for $4, I figured I might as well just pick it up instead of just buying it completely brand new. So I did pick up the second book to the Arc of a Scythe series so that I can get to reading it. Okay, so I went ahead and I reorganized my romance shelf and I made it into 2 shelves. So I actually pulled down this shelf a few pegs because I couldn't move this like shelf below it because it's like the middle shelf of the bookcase that doesn't move. So I ended up moving this shelf down so that I could move my hockey romance and my small town romances and a couple of other romances up on this shelf, and then this shelf here below is like my contemporary literary fiction romances. So on this top shelf here, I just have my hockey romances stacked again like usual with my little Jellycat hockey puck sitting on top. And then this is the book that I mentioned in a previous clip. It's called Diving Heart First by Emmy Luce, who's an indie author in my city actually. And there's a romance bookstore that just recently opened up, so I went down and I picked this up. And it is actually signed by her as well. And then it did come with a bookmark and a sticker for the book as well. So I thought that was pretty cool. And I also thought that the premise of this romance novel was pretty great as well, and that I would be interested in it, especially as someone who was a swimmer for a long time. And then next to my sports romances, and then I left a space for Deep End there as well for when I finished that. And then next to my sports romances, I went ahead and did my small town romances. So I have my Lila Sage Rebel Blue Ranch series here, and then her Sweetwater Peak series. I will put the rest of the books next to those. And then I have Elsie Silver's Rose Hill series here as well. And then along the lines of small town romance, I have my 3 Nicholas Sparks books, just because his romance books are set in small towns, kind of. At least these 3 are. And then on the very last, I have my 2 like fantasy element romances. So that's Good Spirits and the 7-Year Slip. And then my 2 dark romances I have at the very end, which are My Dark Romeo and My Dark Desire. And then I will probably get the 3rd book to that, which is My Dark Prince, and I'll add that there. And then this shelf below, I do have to move you down a little bit. On this shelf here below my main romance shelf, I have my, like I said, my contemporary / literary romances. And I start with my Emily Henry's on this side here. And then I have a space for Great Big Beautiful Life when it comes out in paperback that I'll get it. And then I have my 2 Abby Jimenez books, which are Just for the Summer and Say You'll Remember Me. And then another book I've recently picked up is Just Friends by Haley Pham. I went to Target the other day and I finally saw it sitting there, and it's the first print edition, so it has these beautiful like inside covers and papers. And it also has the annotated chapter 1 in it, like her annotations for chapter 1 in it as well, which I thought is really cool. So I have that to read as well. But yeah, that's what I did with my romance shelves. And then I'm going to go ahead and show you how I set up my other bookcase that I got where I put all of my like horror and dark academia books. Okay, and then over here, like I said, this is my horror dark academia bookshelf. So I went ahead on the top shelf. These are almost all of my horror books, starting with Robert Bloch's book over here. This is kind of just a miscellaneous book here that I have, and then I have all of those there, and I have a space left for my best friend's exorcism by Grady Hendrix. So when I finish that, it can go back up on that shelf. And then I have, like on this shelf here, I have the rest of my Stephen King's and the rest of my horror books, and then my dark academias are here. Also have a space left for Hellbent whenever I finish that. And then this third shelf here, I just have the last 3 dark academia books in my collection that aren't sitting on my TBR cart to be read this year. And then this very bottom shelf here, it's kind of hard to see, but I have my, let me see if I can get you down a little bit more. I have my 2 fantasies here, which are a Greek mythology and The Alchemist, which is actually kind of a classic, so I might move that to my classic shelf. And then I have the entirety of my Andy Weir collection. I mean, he only has 3 books, so I only have those 3. I have The Martian and Artemis by him, and then Project Hail Mary is on my TBR cart for me to read this year as well. And then, as I mentioned before, I did pick up Dark Matter by Blake Crouch to add to my sci-fi collection. And then, while I was out, I ended up at Half Price Books with my siblings over the weekend, and I picked up The Toll by Neil Shusterman. This is technically the 3rd and final book in the Arc of the Scythe trilogy series. I mean, there is another book, there's a novella for it as well called The Gleanings, which I still have to find and purchase. But for now, I have all 3 of like the main books in this series to read. So yeah. And all of my copies are different because I bought the first one and then I thrifted the second 2. But yeah, so I did end up picking up The Toll by Neil Shusterman as well. And that is all of the books that I have picked up over the last couple of months. So a little bit of a book haul from the last like 3-4-ish months, as well as the updates that I have made to my book room. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.